Hi guys, thanks again for watching. Elise makes a bunch of videos. Today's video, I just want to talk a little bit about my travel budget for the last little while. If you're following me before, when I was saving up in Canada, you'll know that I was just sort of like working and spending no money, and so that's how I got the money initially, if you're wondering. But anyways, this video is mostly just about how to save money. I've been starting at the very end of October, I was in Hawaii for about a month, and then Australia, and now I'm in New Zealand. So November, December, January, February, it's the beginning of March now, and I've spent roughly £1,400, um, just because I still had sterling pounds in my old UK bank account, so I decided I would spend all that and leave my Canadian dollars. Anyways, so £1,400 that I've spent in the last 4 months there, and this doesn't include airfare. So my tickets probably were somewhere around $2,000 Canadian. So I had my ticket from Canada to Hawaii, then Hawaii to Australia, and Australia to New Zealand. So not including those tickets, I spent roughly around £1,400, which is somewhere around $2,500 Canadian, which comes out to $625 a month or $20 a day. So having said all that, yeah, basically a lot of the way I was able to keep my budget fairly low is that I haven't really paid for accommodation for most of that. I did stay in a hostel a few times in Hawaii when I first arrived and after I left. Probably the main cost of what I've been spending money on is transport and entertainment. And even then, it's obviously been pretty cheap. I've either been taking buses or getting rides from people for free randomly. So that's like the main thing. Also, just kind of staying put helps a lot with that. So I know a lot of people, when they travel, they get sort of like anxiety that they need to do and see everything all at once. And so they spend a lot of money on tours and things like this to try and jam as many things into each day as possible. That's not really my travel style, and I find it just a lot more enjoyable to sort of take your time and a lot cheaper as well. So yeah, so that's mainly what's up. It's been 4 months, and moving forward, now that I've got a little income from working in the last month and then hopefully getting another job soon, I do have some New Zealand dollars saved. So that budget that I just told you doesn't factor in the money that I've made, and then also included a little bit of, oh yeah, I did actually spend money on accommodation when I was on the Gold Coast and sort of paid for a few things there. So that was probably like my biggest spend in Australia while I was there. And in Hawaii, I went scuba diving. That was probably my most expensive day. That was like $150, I think. And yeah, so those were my big spends. And then a few things here or there. I did buy some clothes from the op shop or the thrift store, whatever you want to call it, when I was in Australia, just because it's really, really hot and like Canadian made, UK made clothes don't quite work. So yeah, that was a really good use of my money, I think, and just a few nights out and going out with friends and stuff like that. Yeah, I wasn't super strict with my budget, believe it or not, considering how little that I actually did spend per day. Obviously, that's an average, and there are some days where I pretty much spent nothing, and so I feel like that justified the days when I spent a bit more. But yeah, it was really good to have that separate bank account that was basically like this is the money I have to spend on my travel. Now that that's almost gone, I'm a little bit more motivated to be making New Zealand dollars in my New Zealand bank account. So I'm really grateful to have the job that I had in the last month. They did offer me a shift for next weekend, but I just didn't really feel like it. So, yeah, I will be job searching, hopefully get something that's a bit better long term, and getting ready to go back to Kerikeri, where I actually started. I was originally thinking to go to Auckland, but yeah, I've decided against that plan. I think it'll be much more chill up here in the far north. So that is my update and sort of my numbers moving forward. I'm sort of got a rough idea that I want to spend a maximum of $400 a month. One great way to save money, obviously, I've mentioned before, is to volunteer. If you do like a work exchange, like I've been doing most of the time while I've been here in New Zealand, and also when I was in Hawaii, it's really helpful to have like free room and board, obviously. It's also just like a lot less things to worry about generally, and if you are cool to stay in the same area and really get to know the one area instead of trying to see and do everything like I was saying before, it's a really good way to meet locals. I was also really lucky to have friends in Australia that I stayed with for free pretty much the whole time, other than the Gold Coast little trip. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. That's sort of my video for today. Feel free to comment if you have questions or any ideas of things that you'd like to know about travel or other things in the future. And if you haven't already, obviously subscribe to my channel, and I'll have a link to a playlist with more sort of my vlogs in the description of this video. So anyways, thanks again for watching. Peace!